It was a hot summer afternoon when Sarah, a young woman driving to visit her family in another state, found herself stranded on the side of a desolate highway. Her car had broken down with no service station in sight. With no choice but to wait for help, she felt a rising sense of anxiety. The road was empty, the sun beating down mercilessly. Just as she was about to give up hope, an old beat-up truck pulled over and a man in a worn leather jacket stepped out. His name was Jack, a retired trucker who had seen many miles of highway in his time. He immediately noticed her frustration and offered to help. "Don't worry, kid. Let's see what we can do," he said with a calm, reassuring smile. As Jack took a look under the hood, Sarah noticed how he moved with an ease that came only from years of experience. "You always stop for people in need?" she asked. Jack chuckled. "A long time ago, someone helped me out on a similar road. I guess I'm just paying it forward." He had the tools to fix the problem, but his real gift was kindness. In the hour it took to get her car running again, they shared stories about their lives. Jack explained that after retiring, he spent his time helping travelers on highways, knowing that sometimes the road was just as much about people as it was about destinations. As Sarah prepared to leave, Jack gave her a bottle of water, a pack of snacks, and a handwritten note that simply read, "Take care. You're not alone on this road." After driving for several more miles, Sarah suddenly noticed a car swerving off the road ahead. It had lost control and was heading straight for a tree. Without thinking, Sarah slammed on her brakes and ran to help. The driver, a young man named Ethan, was in a panic. He had been texting and had barely avoided a serious crash. Sarah quickly calmed him down and checked to make sure he was okay. He was shaken but unharmed. Just as Sarah began to call for help, she realized her phone had no signal. "Looks like we're both stuck," she said with a light-hearted smile. Just as the situation seemed grim, another truck appeared, this time a large delivery vehicle. The driver, a woman named Maria, was in a hurry but stopped when she saw the accident. She offered Ethan a ride to the nearest town so he could call for help, and Sarah stayed behind with the car. Maria, in the midst of her busy schedule, decided to wait with Sarah. They spent the next few hours chatting about the importance of stopping for people in need. "Some people think it's too dangerous to stop, but it's that moment of mercy that can make all the difference," Maria said, revealing that she had once been in Sarah's position, stranded and alone, and had been saved by a stranger's kindness. By late evening, Sarah was still stuck on the side of the road. Maria had long since left, but the kindness didn't stop. A pair of bikers pulled up. Their names were Rick and Molly, two experienced motorcyclists traveling across the country. They noticed Sarah and immediately offered help. Though they had no mechanical skills, Rick offered to ride into town and bring back a tow truck. It wasn't the perfect solution, but it was all they could do. While Rick went for help, Molly sat with Sarah, sharing stories of the road and the people they had met. "We're all connected by the highways we travel. Kindness is the fuel that keeps us going," Molly said. As the hours passed, Sarah began to feel the weight of the situation. She had never felt so isolated in her life. But just as she was starting to lose hope, Rick returned with a tow truck. The driver, a friendly local man, helped Sarah get her car to a nearby garage. She offered to pay him for his trouble, but the man refused. "Just doing what I can to help," he said with a smile. "You'll pay it forward someday, that's how it works." The next day, Sarah continued her journey. As she drove, she reflected on everything that had happened. From Jack's initial kindness to the strangers who had stopped to help her, she realized that these moments had connected her to something larger than herself. A few weeks later, Sarah found herself at another rest stop, where she noticed an elderly woman struggling to load her groceries into her car. Without hesitation, Sarah rushed over to help, remembering the kindness she had received. The woman smiled gratefully, and Sarah handed her a bottle of water, just as Jack had done for her. Sarah finally reached her destination, but the lessons she learned on the road stayed with her. As she pulled into her family's driveway, she thought of all the strangers who had shown her mercy when she needed it most. It wasn't just about getting from point A to point B. It was about the people we meet along the way, the kindness that is passed from one person to the next, and how it can change everything. The highway wasn't just a road for cars. It was a road for kindness, compassion, and the spirit of community. And Sarah promised herself that, No matter where her journey took her next, she would always stop to offer help to those in need, just as she had been helped. Kindness is a highway that connects us all. Sometimes the simplest act of mercy can change the course of someone's life, just as it can change yours.